reporting live from Sapporo, Japan, during the 64th annual Snow Festival. About 2 million people come to see these splendid ice sculptures and statues. Over 200 sculptures are located in 3 sites spread throughout the city. The snow used in the sculptures, equivalent to 6,500 5-ton trucks, is transported from several local sites. In addition, there are gorgeous ice sculptures located in the Susukino section of downtown Sapporo. Back to you, Fred, in warm, sunny Los Gatos, California.
Peggy, before we cut back, what's the weather like in Sapporo?
Oh, not bad. About 25 during the day and in the mid-teens at night. We flew from Tokyo to Sapporo to see the magnificent snow and ice sculptures that make up the annual Snow Festival. From there, we took the train to Kushiro, home to a resident flock of red-crowned cranes. It is also the place to see ice fishing, Japanese style. We then flew back to Tokyo to catch the bullet train to the Japanese Alps to film snow monkeys soaking in the mountain hot springs. The northern island of Hokkaido was first inhabited by Japanese people soon after the Meiji Restoration in 1868, when the samurai era of feudal Japan ended and imperial rule was restored. In a story similar to the settlement of the American West, the indigenous Ainu people were displaced as Japanese settlers ventured north to this fertile land. We are in the restored village of Old Hokkaido, just outside of Sapporo, where olden-day structures depict pioneer life 130 years ago. Fishing and farming were the main occupations. Colonial United States architecture was much admired by the Japanese of the early 20th century, prompting architects from the U.S. to come here to design several public buildings. A major reason for the Japanese settlement of Hokkaido was to keep the Russians out, mirroring somewhat the history of Alaska. An old-fashioned Russian-style sleigh ride adds charm to the visit. There's a carnival atmosphere at the Snow Festival, with children's attractions and food stands. It lasts for 1 week and attracts tourists that come mostly from Japan. But the most exciting time to view the ice festival is at night, when lights are projected on the massive snow sculptures, transforming the park into a Disneyland atmosphere. This one has a full light show projected on it, so let's watch for a while. Snowboarding is popular all over the world, and a special jump has been erected for the festival week to allow local teenagers to show off their moves. The best way to get from our hotel to the Susukino district to see the ice sculptures is by underground walkway. This retail mall spans 1 mile, connecting the main train station to hotels and subway stops. Although much smaller than their huge snow cousins, ice sculptures are just as spectacular to look at. Most are made from molds, with parts assembled into the statue using warm water, while some are chiseled from a solid block and smoothed out using water. A 1.5-hour bus ride brings us to Lake Shikatsu, where snow caves and ice structures are lit up at night to the delight of both children and adults. It's very cold and windy tonight, perhaps less than 10 degrees, so let's spend some time inside the caves. Courtship displays are performed by red-crowned cranes seeking to advertise their willingness to mate, attract a partner, or sometimes to warn off rivals. Adults usually pair for life, and these bonds are reinforced in a mesmerizing, synchronized dance. Early in the 20th century, red-crowned cranes were hunted to the brink of extinction for their stunning plumage. Habitat losses due to agriculture and development have further put pressure on the Japanese crane. With support from the government, farmers began feeding cranes, and the population now stands at about 1,300. In the Orient, the crane is sacred and seen as a symbol of fertility, love, and longevity. Although Japanese mythology suggests that they live for 1,000 years, they typically live for 30 to 40 years. Up until a few years ago, the crane adorned the 1,000 yen bill. Before leaving Kushiro, we spent a day exploring Akan National Park, home to the many lakes and mountains of eastern Hokkaido. This is pristine alpine terrain and home to a large population of sika deer. The highlight for us was a visit to Lake Mashu. Since there are no rivers flowing into or out of the lake, its transparency is extremely high. This unique environment makes it easy to detect small amounts of pollutants in the atmosphere. It is said that Lake Mashu is a mirror that reflects the Earth's atmosphere. On the way home, we stopped at a lake popular for ice fishing. Let's take a look inside one of the tents. Smelts are served deep fried with salt. Yum!
虫ですよね。
そうですね、ワム。
ウォン。その上に乗ってんの？
氷50ぐらいあるんで。
へえ。That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Usually the ice is not thick. Congratulations. だ？何匹釣れた？
We're on our way to Nagano, getaway to the Japanese Alps, ski resorts, alpine villages, mountain hot springs, and, of course, snow monkeys. It is also home to the oldest Buddhist temple in Japan. The impressive Zenkoji Temple complex has been in continuous use since the 7th century, leading all people to the Buddha's Pure Land regardless of their status, gender, or creed. The first Buddhist image in Japan was created in India and brought to Japan via the Korean peninsula in 552 AD. In 642, Zenkoji Temple was built to enshrine it. The image was completely hidden from the people in 654, and since then, no one has been allowed to see it. The Rogu-jizu are statues of the 6 bodhisattvas who gave up Buddhist enlightenment in order to provide salvation to others. The bodhisattvas are said to be able to commune with the 6 realms of hell: fire, starvation, beasts, carnage, human beings, and divine beings. The ancient city of Nagano, built around Zenkoji Temple, played a major role in the feudal history of Japan. Just outside the city is Matsushirijo Castle, built in the 16th century and home to 10 generations of descendants of Shogun Sanada Nobuyaku. Not far from the castle is the Sanada residence, built as a retirement home for the mother of the 9th shogun in this line. Almost there. The path to see the snow monkeys winds for 1.5 miles up to an elevation of about 2,800 feet. Now that looks inviting on this very cold day. This is what we came for, a chance to film the famous snow monkeys of Japan. This region is called Jigokudani, which means Hell's Valley, a reference to the steam and boiling water that bubbles out of small crevices in the frozen hillside. The Japanese macaque, or snow monkey, is the northernmost living non-human primate. These snow monkeys have lost their fear of humans, allowing us to observe them as they soak, groom, play, and enjoy this natural hot tub. Park staff restricts the number of visitors that can be with the monkeys at one time. Grooming to remove fleas and parasites is an important part of the social structure of most primates. Babies and mothers groom each other, as do members of the same troop. Personal hygiene is very important to this large male. Babies will consume their first solid food at 5 to 6 weeks, but full weaning does not generally happen until 18 months. Japanese macaques are intelligent and adaptable. In the wild, a mother and her baby will usually avoid other troop members, but these macaques have modified their lifestyle. To our delight, the park staff disperses small grains of food throughout the area to keep the macaques from wandering off to forage during the day. However, they do leave the hot springs area at night. With more than 100 snow monkeys in this small area, minor conflicts between troops are sure to happen. It's time to leave now, head back to our inn and prepare for the midnight flight home. This last day has been a wonderful treat. Although we have been to Japan many times, our visits to Hokkaido and the Japanese Alps have provided us with a different perspective. Winter in Japan.